Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for the latest episode of Supernatural, The Hero's Journey. And this episode was even worse than the last episode. And that's a big bar because I'm like, wow, the last episode was just, woo, that was a doozy. This one, it was just pure masturbation on the part of the writers. I have seen more plot movement in filler episodes and filler arcs than what has gone on in this episode. The only plot relevant detail that I could really tell you comes at the end, and it just deals with, oh, okay, this could be a solution to your problem. And this thing gets extended to more than one episode because this rips off the mystery spot and the one where they were pretty much put in sitcoms by Gabriel, and it does it even worse than that. It's I if it's just seeing how self-important the writers think they are, how good they think they are. See, satire, if you're satiring something, like they would be satiring normal lives or even kind of sitcoms, because this felt very sitcom-y, but done by almost accident more than anything. And, well, not by accident. They did it on purpose, and it just was done horribly, and they think they're doing it well. Again, it goes to the difference of, like, what's going on here and what would be going on in a movie like Kung Pao Under the Fist. That is attempting to do something bad on purpose. This is attempting to do something bad and just not even understanding how tone deaf it can be with what's going on. You can make... They've even done it in this show before of making fun of sitcoms and shit. They've done it previously and done it better than this. It all comes down to the execution of... This is the main portion of Sam and Dean, and it doesn't feel like Sam and Dean are their characters at all. And what's going on in this episode is just dog shit. Works because werewolves are involved. So, let us dig into this turd. So, we start off the episode and we see that people are fighting, and it is they honestly should have been able to get more extras for what was going on here, because it's like a Fight Club thing, and the audience just seems so fake that it's just... You know how you can get to a thing that's like, oh, that's so fake, it's kind of funny, and then you're going past, it's like, oh, this is really kind of sad, and then you go back, it's like, it's kind of funny again, and then it's just like, no, it never gets to that funny again part. It's just like, wow. So we're essentially seeing two monsters fight, but it's done in such a grandiose, self-important manner that it's just like, can this be over? Now, granted, I'm interested to see who would win in a battle between a wraith and a werewolf with just using their own powers and no lore involved, but they have to do stylistic choices that just bring it down and take you out of the thing. If you ever... I'm not begrudging people doing stylistic choices. Sometimes a certain flair or whatnot really sets a mood or really gets you into what's going on. However, if you go overboard on the style and essentially go and splooge all over the place, you lose the people's connection. And it's always a fine balancing act, and this just went fuck off. So we see the werewolf get his ass kicked. Go over to Sam and Dean, and we see that their shit's going crazy. Sam is having trouble even cooking dinner because that's what happens when people are normal, because everything spitballs completely at once, like, oh, I don't know, like 15 seasons worth of like horrible shit just smacks up out of nowhere. Dean's in the drugstore buying food and everything, but the magic card that Charlie gave him, so that way they wouldn't have to like do credit fraud anymore, is declined, and he's having pain in his teeth and everything. It's like, oh, okay, whatever. So Dean gets back. They're talking about what's going on. Sam pretty much gets sick, and then they get a call from Garth. It's like, yeah, hey, it's Garth. Yeah, we kind of need your help for something. So they're rolling in the Impala, and of course Chuck decides, hey, fuck the Impala too, and it pretty much stops working because of reasons. So they walk the last 10 miles to Garth's house, and it's like, hey, what's going on and everything. And of course, he tries to do the hug thing. Sam's like, I'm sick. He's like, whatever. And we are introduced to their kids, which is kind of crazy because they have an older girl, which, okay, fine. And then they have two twin boys who are cute, and one's called Sam and one's called Castiel. I don't care. I just feel bad for these babies because this is like their debut. And I'm like, ooh, you had to be on like pretty much one of the worst episodes of Supernatural. You have my condolences. And so they go up, they find out that it's the cousin and brings up the whole monster fightings thing, and of course, Sam and Dean try and do their spiel to get him to say stuff, but he's like, why the fuck would I talk to you about anything? It's like, what? Okay. And, of course, Bess is able to, like, fuck with his wounds. And like, yeah, I do it for money and shit. It's streamed on the dark web and all that. Evidently, they had thought he'd been wounded so bad that he was dead, and they dumped him in a swamp. Police were like, what the fuck's going on? But he got out of there before anything got nasty. And I'm like, so you're gonna go after a monster fighting thing, which we haven't seen anybody got killed or any humans hurt in any negative way. Granted, they get injured from the fighting, but I almost see like there's no problem here whatsoever that they need to get involved in. Like, if there's been a case of all these people have died or something like that, or these monsters need help for something, sure, fine, whatever, but I'm like, why are we even involved in this? Why is this even occurring? But here's the plot, and the plot demands. And we see Dean trying to eat candy, and of course his teeth go, and then we get the weirdest fucking splitting of plot demanding shit whatsoever. Sam goes down, and Bess is like, hey, I'll be able to whip you up something that'll do something for your cold. Let's go through his thing first. She gives it to him. He's like, fucking... It goes complete sitcom mode, even with fucking, like, music and shit that's just completely and utterly insane. He's pretty much freaking out because, like, oh god, cayenne pepper? I almost thought that she was going to say that, like, yeah, it was werewolf piss or something. I'm like, oh, evidently that's fucking nuts. But he's, like, in pain and shit. The little girl's laughing at him, almost, and the babies are freaking out because he's freaking out, and Bess is doing fuck all, nothing. Like, doing nothing to calm the children or anything to help Sam. It's like, what am I even watching? This isn't normal. This is sitcom shit. This, like, normal is, like, an acceptable form of weird. A certain kind of balance. This is, like, swinging on the other end where a fucking sledgehammer is being taken to the nuts repeatedly out of nowhere. So, that's pretty much Sam's deal. Then we get to Dean's deal. I shit you not. Garth is like, hey, Dean, let me help you with your teeth. Takes him down to his basement and has a full-fledged dental setup. And granted, they do attempt to explain this because evidently before Garth went hunting, he was working on a degree in being a dentist, and he was able to finish it up, and he now does this for werewolves because it would really kind of suck to go to a regular dentist as a werewolf. And so he runs an underground dentistry in his basement for werewolves. So he decides to open up Dean's mouth and finds not just one, but like 17 cavities. Again, escalation. If you're going to normalify something, you can't just fucking drop a metric nuclear deuce and call it normal. This is cartoon levels of shit while trying to play it straight. So He nitruses up Dean. And then becomes another masturbatory scene where Dean and Garth tap dance. You could cut this whole section and nothing would have been lost. You could cut this whole episode and nothing would have been lost. But this was just like, well, whenever I get to a piece of entertainment and I'm actively wondering and wanting my time back while I am in the process of consuming it, that is a failure. Okay, now granted, people could enjoy this thing, but I'm looking at this and I'm like, this isn't advancing the plot. This isn't funny to me. This isn't interesting to me. This is just taking up time because you need it. You needed a full episode and you did this. And we also see Dean dancing with a lamp in this segment. Because why the fuck not? So he gets done. He gets taken upstairs and they explain that God's out for him pretty much. We get through pretty much Garth pretty much telling them that they're not the heroes of the story anymore. They're main like supporting or whatnot. And Garth was like, hey, I'm a supporting character or something. That's good. I don't want to be in that seat. Talking about like bringing up Batman, Superman, and 50 Shades of Grey for some fucked up reason because Garth and his wife like it. Okay, I don't mind it, but it was like, why is this part of this? You pretty much had it with like explaining the hero's journey with like Batman and fucking Superman. What the fuck? But they're saying that they're dealing with normal people problems. And that they'll need spark plugs for the Impala and shit like that. Whatever. Dean's spitting out fucking bloody gauze and shit. And then they're like, fine, we'll go and check this out and everything. We'll be really careful and all that. They do that. Garth offered to go with them and everything. We're like, nah, with our luck, we'll probably accidentally kill each other and you'll probably be killed as well. So they go there, they load up. Dean evidently had eaten 7 grilled cheese sandwiches because I understand he can be sometimes of a glutton with food, but I mean, that makes no goddamn sense why he would eat 7 grilled cheese in such a short span of time because now he's lactose intolerant and goes to the bathroom to throw it up. Because we need that gag for some fucking reason. Well, they get geared up. Dean takes in the grenade launcher because they're deciding to go completely Hambo-Rambo. They go in. Dean gets sick. Leaves the grenade launcher out. And the weird fuck dude who runs the whole thing's like, hey, I got you. And then they put the brothers in the cage. It's like, yeah, I kind of just do this shit. And now you guys are going to be the main attraction. And he's a shifter. They try and make some fun of him, but none of it really lands or anything. Doesn't really make this any more enjoyable or anything. I'm just like, oh god, more cringe. So evidently they're gonna fight Maw. Just a super vamp. Yay, more vampires. So we see it got set up. They're locked into their cages. They try and lockpick. I'm like, why the fuck isn't this going on? Now granted, there's a part here where Sam is like, okay, was any of this us or was it all Chuck? And if that was focused on more, if that plot thread was explored, if any of their accomplishments were for that from them or from Chuck, wow, that would have been interesting. But with what we've seen here and what we've seen so far and what we're probably going to see after, I'm glad they're not exploring that because these people can't. So Dean tries to give this speech, and I don't know how they're freaking directing these guys to do it, but this Dean speech, granted, echoes what Dean speeches we've gotten before, but the way he delivers it and the content just, with the music involved, like, yeah, we'll do this, we'll go out there, we'll fight that thing, and we'll do it ourselves and everything. And then we see that the shifter dude's coming to get him, says, alright boys, shirts off. I'm like, why do they need their shirts off? Nobody else in there has taken their shirt off to fight. But he comes and he sees that nobody's there. And then we get a fucking Ocean's 11 kind of callback of seeing that Garth had come in unlocked it for them. He's like, you gotta get us. They're like, you gotta get us out of here, man. And he's able to wolf out and gets them out. And they're like, hey, but what about everybody in there? And then we get another kind of Oceans thing where he puts all this C4 there. He ignites. He's like, yeah, we're the bad guys or something like that, or we're the Monster Squad. And yeah, we're the Monster Squad. That's what he hits with, and pushes the button, and he blows up the monster arena. Granted, that is a moral kind of quandary since we haven't seen these people kill anybody. The other issue that comes into play is that the only one that survives is the mall person. That is a complete fuck off on all kind of lore. Alright? Because if that is the case, lore for specifically killing monsters means nothing. And Sam and Dean should have just run around blowing up everybody. I don't know if they were lazy and didn't want to show that like all the rest of them survived, so that way lore of killing these monsters is intact, or if they were just lazy and said, oh, they all fucking died to the C4, whatever. And they didn't want to specify that anything special was going on with the C4. It's like in Star Wars, the Holdo maneuver in The Last Jedi. It completely starts to disintegrate why space battles even occurred in the first place if you can just fucking fling shit at light speed to kill shit. If that's the case, why haven't Sam and Dean since season 1 been blowing fuckers up with explosives? Again, if this was set to be just a cartoony fuck all horse shit alternate bullshit reality thing, I can almost accept it. But no, this is the prime universe of Supernatural. This is the normal of what is supposed to occur, and these fuckers nuked monsters with C4 and only one motherfucker survived. Again, suspension of disbelief is a thing. If you get to a point where you cannot suspend your disbelief, you have fucked up royally as a writer, and your world means nothing. Okay? When plot goes all willy-nilly, and you're like, fuck it, we'll just take out the rest of the monsters. We won't say if they're dead, we won't say if they're alive. We'll just show that they're incapacitated enough that big old vampy balls can go out and have a little fun-ass time beating up on Sam and Dean. God damn it. This is bullshit. So, he comes out, almost immediately takes Garth out of the fight by tossing him off field. Sam and Dean try their best, but it's cartoony at best, where, of course, Dean tries to kick him in the nuts, and then Maul kicks him in the nuts, and he's pretty much like, oh shit. And they try and pretty much do their fighting, but instead of it being normal kind of... Okay, if you're gonna go for a normal kind of effect, go for the kind of John McClane effect where, okay, that's actually where Sam and Dean have usually been most of the time in this series. What I mean by Sam McClane effect is that... Not Sam McClane. John McClane effect is that with John McClane in the Die Hard franchise, he does some really kind of crazy stuff, but he's always shown to be hurt or messed up from something that has occurred. Trying to fight all those terrorists to take over the plaza. Yeah, but his feet are fucked up. He's bleeding everywhere. He's tired. He's not in the best of shape, and he's not like a superhuman. He's just a regular dude doing regular dude things. He does win, but he is fucked up. There's shit that has gone wrong, and he couldn't save everybody and make sure that damage... He made sure that damage at least stayed minimalized to a point, but there were certain things that were outside of his control. Here, it's just cartoonish where, like, Dean gets kicked in the balls. Sam gets a little bit fucked up. And we see that pretty much the vamp dude was pretty much going to kill Dean. I almost would have respected that decision, but Dean then just taps him on the arm, and he lets him go. It's cartoon villain level shit. It is. I'm like, oof. Fine, whatever, do it. And then Garth comes out of nowhere with a fucking machete. Where he got it, I don't fucking know. And just chops him in the head. In the head, and we don't even see that Garth like kills him and chops the rest of his head off. So they end up back at Garth's place. They're holding the babies because reasons. One of the babies poops and wolfs his eyes out. Alright. And then Garth gives him the information that there's supposedly some place to like get your luck back or whatnot in Alaska. And Sam and Dean decide to go do it because they're like, we can't defeat Chuck like this. And they're going to need their regular shit back. I'm like, we're fucking beating Chuck with your regular shit. Like, if you're like normal like this, maybe you accidentally kill him because Garth pretty much nuked a whole nest full of monsters with C4 and took out fucking mall vamp dude. And of course, Baby is getting fucked over as well and acting all kind of squirrely and everything. I'm like, a car doesn't just randomly fuck off like that. Things do not just randomly fuck off like that shit. And I full on hated this episode. That any of this shit occurred and how it occurred. It was just a waste. And I thought, oh, hopefully this is just going to be a one-off thing. Hopefully. Nope. They're going to ride this bitch. Because in the next one, they essentially fucking do a pull hustler Q thing for luck or something. And I'm just like, no. This was such a waste of time. It wasn't enjoyable whatsoever. It wasn't funny. It just was self-important, grandiose, masturbating to their own greatness. It's like, and I don't mind that like people would enjoy this. That's fine, but this is the final season. Every episode needs to count. This is where you tie up loose ends, where you get plots in order and you get to a conclusion. I don't know where this thing's going. We're halfway through this season and I don't even know where this is going. I don't have an inkling. It's just Stop Chuck. Okay, how the fuck's that gonna happen? Oh, and we didn't get a check-in on Jack and Death. It's not like we're losing time or anything, or we're going to need to check in on that at some point. Oh my god. Who okays this? There's multiple people that need to say that this is okay. The writers, the directors, the showrunners, the executives. There's so many people. And they thought this was okay. I don't know what universe I'm living in, man. I swear to God, people are trying to tell me that a potato is a grapefruit. And I just don't fucking get it. So it's going to be interesting to see how the rest of these episodes pan out, because I didn't know how bad it could get, but I'm just preparing for just drops until we get to that last series finale, and that I'm almost positive that it's probably going to be the worst. I mean, there can be some time for salvaging, but it's not looking good. So those are my opinions on the episode. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.